Captain America: Brave New World, another entry of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the fourth Captain America film and the first to star Anthony Mackie, who took up the shield after Chris Evans' run as Steve Rogers came to an end. We saw Mackie become the new Captain America on the Disney Plus show The Falcon and the Winter Soldier back in 2021, so the movie is following up on that. Kind of. It's following a lot of loose threads from past movies that are almost entirely unrelated to Captain America. We have characters and plot points from the 2008 Incredible Hulk coming back to the spotlight. You know, back when it was still Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. And we're finally addressing the giant celestial emerging from the Earth's core in the Eternals movie. There's a lot to unpack with this, and I have way more complicated thoughts and feelings about it than what I'm going to talk about in this mostly spoiler-free review. I mean, they had Red Hulk all over the marketing, so that's not a spoiler. But anyway, the movie picks up with Sam Wilson having been Captain America for a few years already. He's still going on missions, being a cool hero with his wingsuit and all that. He's even got a new Falcon sidekick played by Danny Ramirez. And that's neat, but Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. That dead giant celestial in the ocean, nations of the world want control of it because apparently it has fancy new resources, one of which conveniently sets up an upcoming film. And remember William Hurt as General Ross from the 2008 Hulk? He's back! Well, the character, not William Hurt, because he died a couple years ago, so now he's played by Harrison Ford, and he's the newly elected president, and he's the Red Hulk at the end. But we already knew that. Also, there's a conspiracy unraveling that's putting President Ross in a pretty tough spot. The pressure's mounting on him, the pressure's mounting on Sam to live up to the title of Captain America in Steve's absence, and the pressure is mounting on this film to try and be as good as the Winter Soldier from 2014. I did enjoy Brave New World to a degree. It isn't terrible like some people are saying, though the criticism is fair. Like, it's a mess, and it's not what it should have been whatsoever, but it's entertaining enough for what it is, and Anthony Mackie was holding everything together for me. It's so good to see him with that shield and leading his own Captain America movie. Like, that's gotta be a dream come true, and he's great in the role as he's always been. Not as strong of a personal story that he had in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, I wish they went even further than that show, but whatever problems the movie has, Mackie isn't one of them. Also, I really liked Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross. I do miss William Hurt, but Ford fills his spot pretty nicely. And I appreciate that he didn't sleepwalk through this like I was afraid he would. Like, this is a total paycheck movie for him, but he doesn't treat it like that. He actually turns in a great performance, all things considered. Danny Ramirez was okay as the new Falcon, and Giancarlo Esposito is fine in the 3 scenes he was in, and that's about all the genuine compliments I can give the movie. Maybe things would have worked out better if this wasn't so obviously plagued by extreme rewrites and reshoots at every step of production. No, seriously, do you remember? They didn't just redo a couple scenes, they essentially remade the whole film from the ground up. Stupid test screenings went poorly, so they threw out basically everything, did a new script, and shot the entire film again. I think they shot like damn near 2.5 movies for this one movie. What it was supposed to be at first, what the reshoots were, and the final product are all separate entities. Something big like Infinity War and Endgame, I can understand having more extensive reshoots and more deleted or alternate scenes, but Captain America 4 had to be restarted from scratch? This is even more insane than the 2017 Justice League. Like, what the hell happened? I won't spoil who the real villain is in Brave New World, but I'll tell you, it was supposed to be the Serpent Society. WWE star Seth Rollins and Rosa Salazar were part of that team in this movie. They were major antagonists, but not anymore. That version of the movie no longer exists. They were cut. They don't even get credit. And actually, Giancarlo Esposito replaced Seth Rollins' character in the reshoots. Esposito does play Sidewinder, a member of the Serpent Society, but nobody else shows up, and he's a minor antagonist anyway. What's the MCU's deal with not wanting the Serpent Society in their movies? Remember that Phase 3 reveal in 2014 where they announced Captain America 3 was called Captain America Serpent Society? And 5 minutes later they were like, we lied, it's Civil War. First that, then a decade later we have this happen? What the fuck? It would only have made sense for the Serpent Society to be the main villains because they are in Captain America's Rogues Gallery. But in the final cut, it's all Hulk's enemies. Why is Captain America against Hulk's Rogues Gallery? Why is this more a sequel to the 2008 Hulk than anything else? This isn't a proper follow-up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not to mention how beyond the villains, it's just a patchwork mess of bits and pieces from different versions of the film desperately strung together, with a lot clearly left on the cutting room floor. They responded too extremely to test screen reactions, they tried to make a political thriller without nearly as much of a bite as The Winter Soldier from 2014. It doesn't feel like it committed or believed in half the stuff it was going for. It doesn't go as far as the Disney Plus show, which is weird. It doesn't carry any serious weight like the stuff it's trying to live up to. It's just not what it should have been, not what it needed to be. Also, can we talk about how shit the camera work is? Why does it look so lame? The cinematography is flat and lifeless and boring to look at. A lot of the times, too, I was baffled at how so many scenes were framed and cut. More than just not being interestingly shot, the focus of the eye and the blocking for even the smallest moments was annoyingly wrong. Just plain wrong. So many things or actions that needed emphasized by the camera were lost entirely. And the editing made it even choppier. It's hard to explain without showing you the clips, but it pissed me off. It's the biggest thing I disliked about Brave New World. The messy reshoots are one thing. The half-baked conspiracy plot I can handle. I can even tolerate the fact that it's a Hulk sequel without Bruce Banner. But I was losing my mind by how it was shot. It's like that part in D-War from 2007, Dragon Wars, the scene where Craig Robinson gives the main guy a gun, where the framing and staging of the scene is so terrible that you can't even see that he's being given a gun, and you're supposed to be able to. Nobody knows the movie I'm talking about, but trust me, it's that, but for an entire film. I will say the sense of scale with the Celestial in the ocean, that was impressive. That whole sequence with the jets and the ships was actually shot okay, but that's about it. So yeah, Captain America Brave New World. I really shit on this movie more than I thought I would. It's an okay time in the theater, but the problems are obvious and start gnawing at you over time. And it's only been a few hours since I saw it, so who knows what I'll feel in a few days or months or even a couple years. What I feel right now is, after such extreme reshoots, after remaking the whole film and all that other nonsense, this is all we get? Not even 2 hours long, crowded with the wrong Rogues Gallery, too focused on cleaning up the forgotten plot threads from the 2008 Incredible Hulk, not a good follow-up to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, and not even shot very well. This is not what it should have been. I'm not mad at it. I don't hate it. I don't even think it's that bad compared to some other Marvel films, but this shit needed a better director than the guy who did Cloverfield Paradox. And that's about all I have to say about Brave New World. Coming from someone who liked Thor: The Dark World and Eternals, this is pretty far from bad, but nothing I can picture falling in love with. So, yeah, what a film.